competitor intelligence that doesn't suck. Like legit, it's easy to use, it's easy to get onboarded, set up, it's easy to follow your competitors, and you don't have to empty your checking account to do it, right? You can find probably comparable solutions to Tabz. You can spend a stupid amount of money for a somewhat comparable product, or, you know, for just $100 a month, you have access to that kind of enterprise level competitor intelligence. I'm Zac, founder and CEO of a company called NonprofitsHQ. We build a unified management platform for nonprofit organizations that helps them manage everything they need, from donors to staff and volunteers to fundraising to eventing, ticketing, everything you need in one affordable spot. Before we found Tabz, it was kind of a headache. Our entire platform is to help modernize organizations, right? Make them more compliant, more efficient, get them out of the spreadsheets and into something more trackable, something more secure. And we found ourselves buried deep in spreadsheets while we were trying to track all of our different competitors. And even when we got information that was important to us, it was just buried in this massive dump of data that really wasn't helpful to us. We would spend probably a couple hours a day, I would say, cleaning through those spreadsheets, figuring out what mattered to us and how that applies to our marketing. And then we would start to figure out what we do with that information. What do we change? Do we need to change something? And go from there. But now we have it immediately at our fingertips, and so we can just log into this app. We can see those changes, why we care about them, what they're ranked for us in an easy to use interface, and then we can immediately start thinking about, okay, what's our next move? How does this impact what we're doing? How does this impact not just us specifically, but the entire market? The market has become very saturated, and with tools like AI helping you stand up new SaaS products, every day, it becomes really important that we keep an eye on all of the different moving parts. We have competitors that are really, really big, $24, $50 million in annual recurring revenue, down to all these different competitors that are popping up that are either not as good in positioning or not as good in product, and having to kind of juggle all that information and bring all that information in. It's a tough market to really keep an eye on. On every piece of data that Tabz provides us, they provide a ranking. How important this actually is to what you're doing, why this is a significant change versus this other thing. And so what that lets me do is look at this dashboard, which sometimes there can be quite a bit of information, but I can look at this dashboard and then see the top few things that I need to care about in each category, whether that's the ads, whether that's the SEO ranking, or the news updates, or website changes, whatever that is. That one little number tells me that this is something that I should care about based on what I'm working on and not something else. That little easy, simple functionality in Tabz that adds so much immediate value to us. One of the things that was interesting to us and that we didn't even know that we should be tracking were changes to terms of service, right? We didn't know that we should be tracking those. And then even if you did come up and tell me today, hey, Zac, you should be tracking things like this, how the hell do I track that, right? How do we actually, I'm not gonna log in and look at every document across all of our competitors, but Tabz really brings that in and kind of summarizes what changed and what that could indicate, which closes a lot of steps for us. But one of the interesting things that we learned about our competitors, and this helped kind of, Tabz helped directly inform the decision and the direction that we went with this. We wanted to launch a new tier specific to a specific set of bandwidth targets for our customers. It would kind of reshape what we now have as our free tier. A competitor had actually attempted this exact thing before, and we didn't know that they had done that until we'd logged into Tabz and saw that they actually were sunsetting that program. But with that and other pieces of intelligence that were also served through Tabz, we looked back and saw how they executed it, how they positioned it, and it just wasn't an interesting or a valuable enough space for that competitor. And so that helped us shape what our free tier is now. Markets are constantly changing. Even in our space, the nonprofit tech space, there are so many new players that are introducing so many new things. It's really hard to stay on top of all of that. And we are a startup. We don't have the budgets to spend, a crazy amount of dollars on competitor intelligence. I think what Tabz does is two things really well. Tabz brings that intelligence, that enterprise level competitor intelligence, that awareness of our market to startups, and they do it in a very high quality, affordable way. So if Tabz were to disappear tomorrow, I don't think it would just be us that would miss it, because we would have to figure out how to understand our market, how to position our products, how to move forward. I think everybody in the startup community should be sad that Tabz was no longer here. Do you want the truth?
Let's skip that question.
This is testimonial, right?